So hi guys, welcome to issue 48 of the Eddie Stobart. Now this is the start of the chassis. This is actually the second issue of this month's subscriber pack. It looks to me like, without opening these, that 48 and 49 are going to go together. And then issue 50 looks very similar to issue 48. So I'm guessing 51 will be the same as 49. And that should hopefully give us some chassis beams. So let's see how I get on with it.
I've pounded the road from coast to coast, your key and me rolling on. 'Cause a long day's run can be short on fun without your key to help me along.
So this is the parts for issue 48, and I was frantically trying to get all the parts out and ready while the credits were rolling, but I didn't quite manage it. So the parts that we have for this issue, and my lighting looks really bad. I say that virtually every issue, don't I? So the front left chassis. So issue 48-1. This is the front left chassis beam. That's made of metal. Part 2, and a lot of these parts, because they've got a two-dimensional picture, they don't all make sense. But this looks like the front left bumper holder. And then 3, it looks like possibly this one is the spring holder, but again, once we start building, it will make more sense. And then that makes part 4, front left piston mount. And so far all of these parts are metal, but this is the first plastic part. This is part 5. This is the fuel pump. And then we have this small plastic bit, which is a cable guide. Quite how that's going to work out, I don't know, because there's no screw holes in it. So never mind. Right, so we've got 2 sets of screws. So the first one we've got, they're labelled DD03. These are 2.3. Let me get that. 2.3 by 4mm PM screws, and should be 4 of those, but it says 1 is spare. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the quite big chunky ones, which we've been using for the wheels. And the last one we have is DPO8, which is PB screws, 1.8 by 4, and there's 2 of these, of which 1 is spare. And these are what I call the normal ones. They're quite small, and I almost lost that one. Right, so let's have a look, see what we've got to do. And there is 3 pages of instructions, so lots to do. So we need to take the fuel pump, which is this one. This is the only plastic piece, and we need to take the beam, and they've got it. I can't work out. There we go. I think right. So somewhere around about here we're working on it. Looks like it's actually going in there. Now, an identifying mark I've got is you've got this flat edge here, and you've got like a little rectangular hole there, and then you've got this raised bit there, and from there I can work out that the fuel pump is going to go there, and the fuel pump is got a fat bit pointing upwards with a thin bit going downwards and a bit going out, and this peg there is going across. Sorry, sticking upright, and it's going to go, oh god, bear with me. The trouble with this is it's red on red. Let me show you. So lots and lots of red, and it's really difficult to read. So we're going, I might actually have to take a break and check the magazine out. I normally do it as the magazine says. The peg on the pump 5 fits into a hole in beams, in beam 48-1. I think it's going this way. Yes, look. So on here we have a keyhole fitting. It's very hard to see, but there it is. It's got a little peg on the bottom, and there's a keyhole fitting there. So it's gonna go. Oh, it's gonna go that way. Like so. With that little keyhole fitting in there. And be careful, because that will get knocked out easily until we get to the next stage, which is secure that from the other side with a PB 1.8 by 4. Sorry. So yeah, the instructions, I'm not going to say they could be clearer. The trouble is, what will be good instructions for me may not be so good for you. These instructions might be simple, so super clear, but I've not actually read them that well, so I'm not sure if that screw is. This is one of those screws where you need to do lots and lots of turns before anything actually starts to engage. Right, so that is in really nicely. So next we want to take the spring holder, which looks like it's this piece, and we want to turn this over. And you see that we've got a little recess there with 2 pegs, and we have a recess, so we have 2 pegs there, so that's going to go in like so. And let me check it is the right way round. Yes, so you'll see that this comes out and then it comes down, so that downwards wants to go. I mean, there is no other way you can put this in. And then what we're going to do apparently is, I see, so we're going to secure it with a screw going through there. So obviously something's going to go across there, and that will cover the screw up. So we need a DD03, which is a PM 2.3 by 4. That's quite a substantial screw, isn't it? That's one of the fat ones. This is 3 of these will hold a wheel together. So I think that this is going to be, perhaps have some pressure on it. There we go, that's in. Oops, my screwdriver head's just fallen out. Right, so that's in nice and secure. And then we're on to step 5, and we need to be looking at this piece, which is the bumper holder, and we need to now flip this over so that we've got this end there, and we've got this little tab sticking up, and we've got 3 holes here, and we want to line this up so that we've got the 3 holes. You've got them going, two there going up at a 45-degree angle, and then 1 straight across. Excuse me. And we've got this little cut out at the bottom, so that's going to go in like so. And I can see now that 2 of these holes are for locating pegs, and 1 hole is obviously a screw hole. And then we want to turn that over, and the screw is going to go in that way, with the screw being a PM screw 2.3 by 4. Don't know if I wanted that many screws. So this is going to fall off if you let go of it, so you probably should have lined your screw up before you did this part, but that's okay, I've got it now. So right, that screw goes in there, and do that as tight as you want because you're screwing metal into metal. And there we go, guys, that is perfect. Okay, so now they said that that's a bumper holder. Now this is the bumper, so I'm going to do a little bit of speculation. So what do you think, guys? Do you think that's going to go there, or perhaps, see, that fits? Is this the left or the right chassis? left. So yeah, there's a possibility, guys, that there's the front bumper in place. However, there's no positive stops there. There's a positive stop that way, but there's no positive stop that way. So you see, I can rotate that way, but I can't rotate that way. But that could be it, or that could be the rear bumper that goes there. But there's a possibility for you. Right, so onwards and upwards. So we've got that part on. So we've got this part left now. We want to arrange this chassis so that this part is pointing downwards. And we've got two holes there. And we want to take the left piston mount. And we have a notch that we want in this position. So the notch is there. And that's going to go on. Oh, I'm not sure if that looks right. Yeah, right. So we position this so that you'll see that that looks a bit odd. It looks like it's sticking out at an odd angle. But what it does is this little notch there is creating access to that hole there. Like so. And then what we'll need to do is turn to stage 9, which is on the 3rd page. It's only 10 stages in total. We need to secure that with a 2.3. Right, sorry, yeah, it doesn't. This is one of the few instructions. It doesn't actually show you the screw where to put it in, but it does say on the other side. So we need to turn that over, and there's the hole there, big hole there. And if I've done that right, as soon as I let go, after I finish screwing, that should remain in place, which it does. And we've got the access there, absolutely perfect. And then that leaves us one last bit. So we need to turn this over again, and you'll see there this square bit there. We need to take this cable guide, and you'll see that you've got two holes just to the right on the right hand side, one in the middle, one on the right. So this big gap there where there's nothing, that needs to go in there. And that is, it says you do not need to use any glue, and you really don't need to use any glue. So there we go, guys, that is our completed work. Now, looking at the way they've arranged it in the magazine, we've got one view like this, and then we have one view like this, and I can confirm that mine does look like the magazine. So, and that is the end of the stage. So what about that then, guys? We have been waiting so long for this chassis. We've waited, is it fair to say we've waited 48 weeks? You know, we've been working on other stuff, but yeah, that chassis is now in, and I do not think it's disappointed. We've got this nice, I'm not sure, that looks a bit, so that's something to look out for. Look, guys, so that is, as you can see, that's not straight. Whether it's meant to be straight or not, I do not know at this point, but judging from the size of the angle of this, you see that where it's been folded to make a three-sided shape, I would suggest that where that would add strength to it, it wouldn't be able to do that in transit. So that's possibly meant to be that shape. So I'll wait and see what happens, and I'll do a comparison with issue 50 when we get to that. So that'll be something to look forward to. But there is our first stage of our front left chassis, and then in the next issue we have the rear left chassis beam, 3 cables, 2 hydraulic tubes, fixing plates and screws. Sounds like it's going to be quite a technical issue. So take care, guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'll catch you in the next issue.